This is Daily Flash with Andrea Jackson and Mitch English. Broadcasting worldwide and streaming. Daily Flash. Today's talk, tomorrow's trends.
Everyone, I'm Andrea Jackson.
I am Mitch English, welcoming you to Daily Flash. Today's talk, tomorrow's trends. So glad to have you along for this big ride.
Have you guys been following this whole Caitlin Clark controversy?
It's sad.
The WNBA, yeah.
It's sad that this has gone on, and and the fact that they had I think there's 30 years for the WNBA and did not put her on. The one person that has turned so many people, but yes, I have been following.
I caught the tail end of that. At the same time, I also caught the video of the player who looked like she was punching her in the throat. Got a one game suspension. She should have been suspended for the rest of the season. And this isn't just one incident involving Caitlin Clark. This is one of many.
She's targeted.
She is targeted. I don't get it. I mean, she is given the WNBA the exposure and the access. It is so in desperate need of. Why are they hating on her so much?
And I think the race card plays into that. There has been
I'll
tell you what. No, I'm going to tell you why. That because. It's going to sound like a long stretch, but stay with me. Go ahead. Is that whenever if a child gets missing, and if it's a white kid, it gets more attention than if a black child gets missing. That's true. Okay, now don't just know that I'm not connecting the two.
I got you.
Other than that, is that they feel that they're not. Why there's better players in the NBA? Because you're talking about a culture. All together. And this is a girl that she's worked really, really hard. But I'm not going to take anything from her. And you know what? That's that's what people have put their eyes on. When you talk about the WNBA, name 4 other players.
Couldn't do it.
I can't do that right now, and I'm not going down on the WNBA.
I got you. I got you.
You're not
I got you.
Somebody jump in. Somebody be my. All you gotta do. So, just point to me right now.
Aja Wilson.
Like her. That's one thing I love about the NBA. Her teammates.
Right. Yeah, Sophie Cunningham.
Yeah, that's right.
Her name.
There's number 2.
So Aja Wilson is the best player in the WNBA.
Angie.
You think so?
Aja Wilson. Yeah. She's the center for the Las Vegas Aces.
So then, but people are saying, why isn't she getting more than?
Well, she does though. She does. So I think,
but not as much as Caitlin. I think.
Right, but I don't. So
because I like Caitlin.
I got you.
I'm gonna drink.
I got you.
You finish this out. You're the athlete at the best.
So no, I think this is the WNBA has become much more physical. All right, since Caitlin's been in, yes, I do think she's been targeted from time to time by certain teams because of her play, right? And she can shoot it from anywhere on the court. That's the great thing about Caitlin. Now, should she have been suspended for the rest of the season? Yes, looking at the video, it's a punch, right? And Caitlin has been fouled hard several times, right? But I'm not going to say she's not a weak girl. She gives it as she gets it, right?
I'm glad you said that. You're right.
She comes out, and that's one thing I love about her play. She's not going to back down for anybody, and that's what I love about the WNBA too. Those girls play hard. They don't back down for anybody. But I do think there are certain women within the WNBA that target Caitlin a lot, and she's been fouled harder than most.
The camera's on her
all the time, right?
So that means
rightfully so.
Goes after her.
Right now, Caitlin is. I mean, although Adrian Wilson, she's the best player in that league. Caitlin has become the face of the game, and she has changed the way that the WNBA has been viewed, and changed the way how the players have been treated. Right. You got to realize the WNBA at one point would not allow. You wouldn't see this in the NBA, but they would not allow private jets to go from place to place, right, to travel their teams. They were flying them commercial. So you would see Caitlin, her first year, she was on a commercial flight with everybody else. Like, oh my God, that's Caitlin Clark walking by.
I want to continue.
All right, so go ahead. I was going to say it's changed.
I was on a flight one time.
You were?
And going back to Oklahoma one time. And I was going back to Oklahoma.
Right.
and the Thunder was on my flight.
Oh,
And
wow.
They were?
The Oklahoma
Here's the thing.
Thunder.
Yes.
That's unusual.
No, well, they were just had they used to be the Bullets, and they was right around that transition time.
Okay.
And I was sitting down, and like all of a sudden, I was getting all my baggage, and like all these people were coming down, and people coming up, and guys signing. It was Kevin Durant.
Oh
Yeah.
my God.
So and it was and I don't follow basketball as much as I probably should. All right, I'll give you that. But I was like, I figured they did, or they had their own plane that they did. It makes more sense.
Most of the time, they're chartering planes.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
if you, I know we're talking about basketball,
But they don't make as much as the NBA does. Meaning, like the NBA, there's more money being pushed into it than there is.
Yeah.
To
They weren't in the beginning. Now they're seeing more money come in. Now
Certainly.
it's not. I don't think it's balancing the books. Like whereas they're breaking even, but they're seeing more money coming in, and it's partly because of Caitlyn. To be frankly honest,
So
you
if
know,
she were to say enough, I'm out of here, I'm done, this
I don't
is
think
BS.
she would ever say that because she's a player.
Okay.
So I think she sees it. All right, cool, and
Whatever.
she shoots that three and makes sure they win a game. You know what I'm saying? But yes, I do at times think there's a little bit too much rough play in the WNBA.
But why leave her off the poster too? Like
That
to me,
part
like,
I don't like.
I don't know.
I don't know why
I
they
don't
did
know.
that.
I don't think that makes sense.
It just seems like there's some hate toward her in that league.
I don't,
and
but
there
it,
shouldn't
but
be.
it doesn't make sense because she's a big advocate. She's been an advocate of black women and playing in the
Yeah.
league and giving them props and so on and so forth.
Or
So
women altogether,
I don't
right?
know,
Yeah.
but so
Yeah.
but I don't think that's a more WNBA problem. That's a front office problem.
Yeah.
Because that's who makes the call on that.
All right, I have a theory.
Okay.
Okay, you remember growing up watching Dynasty, right? What
A
was your
little
favorite-
bit, Mitch,
Oh,
a little
okay,
bit.
man, if I'm above your time.
The
Your
Caribbean?
favorite episode of Dynasty is when Crystal and Alexis got in a fight.
Yeah, you're right. Yes.
Okay.
Every guy loves the cat fight.
Okay. Okay.
There's
Yeah,
even
that's
a
true.
Seinfeld episode.
You're right,
about
you're
that.
right,
Why do
you're
guys like it? Because thought maybe
Yeah, they
they might kiss. I don't think that's going to happen. However, when you watch a hockey game and you don't see a fight, in
You're
a hockey
disappointed. That's a great point.
So there is a way, and there also was a trend back in the 90s, and
Yeah.
you can write me now and complain to me. The way that they got viewers is introduce a lesbian, and people would do it. I know you guys think I'm going left field.
Oh my God.
Guess when Ellen DeGeneres show when she came out, had the highest ratings that it
That's
ever
true.
had.
Yeah, that's
true.
Whenever there was, they would
That's true.
introduce that because it's
Yeah.
controversial. Now, I'm not saying
Right, the
lesbian, I'm just saying there's this mentality of men watching that's what they want. And I wonder how much that plays into it.
They're thinking the eyeballs will tune in for a
Well,
good fight.
or they're letting it get away with it. Is what I'm saying. I'm not there saying, "Hey, you guys, fight,"
yeah.
but I think they're letting it get away
I
with
see
it.
what
I
you're
guess
saying.
I
Yeah.
see your
I can see
conspiracy.
it.
I probably
theory, all right?
should have prefaced everything.
But I would say this. I think their game has elevated so much in the WNBA. They don't need all of that. I think they're just playing. It's just too rough. It's like
Yeah.
it's crazy right now.
Yeah.
So and if, when the WNBA started, WNBA was a way for a lot of fathers to take their kids to a game, a professional game, because it was cheap.
It was cheap.
It was
Yeah.
the cheapest
Inexpensive,
game. You barely can afford an NBA game now.
Oh,
I mean, this
right?
is like priced out, man.
Yeah.
Especially if you have a family of 4.
Forget
no
it.
way.
There was
Yeah.
also a resurgence, I think, back in the early 2000s of the WNBA, and a lot of the NBA teams had, I want to call them sister teams, more
Yeah,
or less,
yeah.
in those cities. And that's what they kind of were on the backs of the NBA. And then they
Yeah, they're
moved
paying
out.
for
I
it.
know, like Utah had one. The reason I'm bringing that up. And I was talking to a player, and what they got paid, if you think about it, is minor league. It really
Yeah. Oh,
yeah,
is.
yeah.
And it's fortunate, like they're doing what they love doing.
Yeah. But they're getting paid more now. So they're
You
getting
know what
paid
I'm
more
saying,
now.
and-
And they're making a ton of money overseas. That's why when they leave here, they go
And
overseas.
sponsorships, they're
Yes.
making money that way.
Yeah.
And I kind of
Social
relate it a
media's
little
changed
to
the
the
game.
NIL.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
you
sure.
got that as well.
Get
But-
paid.
All right, so everybody cool? Now, the biggest ratings Daily Flash have is when Andrea and I made out.
Yeah.
And we
That's
haven't
true.
got them yet, so here we go, folks.
Oh, we
Oh,
have
here we
breaking
go.
news. Our question of the day.
She would punch me in the throat, folks. If you
Hey, question.
Andrea Jackson, I've already answered this question right now.
Would you live with you? Would you live with you?
Now,
Is our question
Would
of the
you
day.
live
all
with
right?
you? Okay.
Who
I could live with
you
me.
would live with.
I
right?
live with me every day. Of course I would live
Yeah.
with me.
Would you
I
live
can
with
do
me? Okay. Today I would. I know I would hate my former. No,
You
so
would?
I think I've done a lot where I look. I'm fortunate to where I could see Fat Mitch, and I realized that's a different person. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like I say fortunate because that's the only way I can look at it. But I realized the bad habits that I had and the things that I did. I'm not proud of. Nothing like it's crazy, but I didn't like how I always thought of other people. So to answer your question, yes, I would live with myself today, not my former self.
I couldn't do it, man. I couldn't do it. I need my space. I love me, but I love me in two different places, so I can't live with me. That's why I couldn't do it.
Interesting. Okay.
I would literally, even if moving forward and getting married, I would really think about should we have two different places.
Well, I mean, a lot of people do that. They like it. I mean,
I like living by myself.
You do. You like your space.
It's peace.
I think, and just like every relationship, it changes, right? So
That's it.
That is true.
I think you should be able to live with yourself. What do you think? What do you have to do to make that happen? We want to hear from you. Flash at dailyflashshow.com, or just go to our website at dailyflashshow.com. We still got some fun coming up.
Yes, we do. I believe we have
John Graham.
John Graham is coming up on the show. We're going to have some tasty treats. Yeah. An estimated 27.6 million people around the world are currently victims of human trafficking, including millions right here in the United States. Joining us now to discuss warning signs and how the public can help prevent human trafficking is Brandy Bynum. She is the unit chief at the Blue Campaign. Brandy, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me.
So let's talk about human trafficking and large-scale events. One that we're in the middle of right now is the FIFA World Cup. Why is human trafficking awareness so important during these large-scale global events?
So when we have an influx of people coming into the U.S., especially for the FIFA World Cup, where the U.S. is hosting 11 cities, 11 of the cities are hosting these games. We have millions of people that will be visiting us, through the next 2 months. And so when we talk about raising awareness, whenever there's a large group of people that's in one spot, it's a great time to raise awareness. Also, what we've seen around large scale events like FIFA World Cup is that with the influx of visitors, there's more people that are using transportation like rideshare or the bus or the train in these cities. There's more people staying at hotels. There's more people going to restaurants and entertainment and venues. And so when that happens, that provides an environment for traffickers to come in, play, and groom on people's vulnerabilities. And people are having fun, so they're less likely to be more suspicious and look out to deter criminal activity.
Okay, so they kind of let their guard down a little bit more when it comes to these kinds of events. That makes sense. What warning signs can fans and local community members keep an eye out for when it comes to human trafficking?
So a lot of times victims of human trafficking don't even know that they're victims. And so what we ask the public to look out for is if they're out enjoying their day, especially around the games at a restaurant or checking into a hotel, is to look out for people who may look like they're being controlled by another person. A big one is if someone does not have possession of their personal identification, like their license or their passport, because we know that traffickers take that piece of information to maintain control over their victims. Someone who may show signs of various stages of bruising, which could indicate that they could be abused. If you're talking to someone or standing behind someone at a checkout line, or you're grabbing food and they look to another person to answer for them, like they don't feel like they can speak on their own, they're looking for confirmation or permission from the person that they're with. And then the last thing I'll say that may be visible is we know that some traffickers like to brand their victims. So large tattoos, small tattoos, especially people are in a group with their name with a little heart, not like a friendship tattoo, but something that it's like, why would you have that? Multiple people have that same tattoo. So those are some public signs that people may see.
Wow. Okay, so how can people safely report suspicious activity? It's one thing to see it and see something, but it's another thing, Brandy, to say something.
Absolutely. So we don't want people to be in fear of reporting the crime. So we have a toll-free hotline, the National Human Trafficking Hotline, and that number is 1-888-373-7888. I mentioned this toll-free. It's available 24/7. It's available also in over 200 languages. And the best thing about the line is that people can call in anonymously. So they don't have to have that, hopefully removes that fear that if they report that it's not right. I always say if someone is not a law enforcement officer, we do not want them to engage, because I think sometimes when people think that somebody's in danger, the first thing they want to do is go to help. But we encourage people to call that hotline hotline number, or if somebody's in immediate danger, they can call 911.
What would you say are some common misconceptions about human trafficking that may prevent people from recognizing it?
The number one, I would say, or not number one, but a big one is that trafficking does not happen to men and boys. A lot of times when we have these conversations, we're talking about young girls and women, but trafficking absolutely happens to men and boys. It's just underreported for multiple reasons. I would say the second is that it requires movement, especially if you're watching TV or watching a movie. You think that somebody's going to get snatched up or kidnapped and taken somewhere or transported somewhere, and that is not the case. People get trafficked, then they never leave their home, especially when we got out of the COVID pandemic, the brink of it, where people were online more, whether they were on social media or in chat games or talking to people, and traffickers were very crafty and they uptick their grooming tactics online. And so that's another big one. And then the third one I would say is that human trafficking is not just sex trafficking. A lot of times that's easier to spot because you can tell if somebody, isn't dressed appropriately or they're standing out on a corner or something like that. But labor trafficking is the other big piece of human trafficking. And that's when somebody gets forced to work for little or no pay. Their working conditions are horrible. And then, they can't leave that situation. So labor trafficking is actually more prevalent in different parts of the world, and especially here in the United States, outside of sex trafficking.
There are so many layers to this, Brandy. It's incredible. Thank you for sharing your insight. Real quickly before we let you go, any advice to parents who are super concerned about this, and in this age of AI and social media that we are living in, it can be challenging. What do you tell parents?
Absolutely. So maybe like 3 years ago, I worked with a couple of survivors of human trafficking to create this toolkit called How to Talk to Youth About Human Trafficking, because we realized there was a gap in trusted adults like parents and teachers being able to have that conversation with young people about what human trafficking is. And so we don't want to scare kids, right? We also want to use the right language. So I encourage folks to go to our website, bluecampaign.gov, go to our document library, download that free toolkit, because it gives you the tools and resources to be able to have that conversation. The last thing I'll say is let's breathe life and love into our young people. Let's talk about safe habits online, right? What do you do? People want to get a lot of followers, especially young kids. My 7-year-old nephew is like, I want more followers. I'm like, what are you talking about? You don't. Like, don't accept friends, that you don't know in real life. Don't talk to people in private messages. Talk about positive things online to help encourage them to make those healthy relationships. So that's what I would say to parents and their kids.
Great advice, Brandy. Thank you so much. bluecampaign.gov/World Cup for more information. Blue Campaign is the website. Brandy, thank you so much for joining us. Great insight there. Stay with us. We're back right after this.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Daily Flash. I'm Mitch English along with Andrea Jackson.
It's our nation's birthday, and our favorite weird food guy, John Graham, joins us with some weird stuff we might see on the picnic table this year. Hi, John.
John!
Hey, thanks for having me. I figure 4th of July, we'll start off with hot dogs.
You got to. It's the tradition.
So Oscar Mayer has a group of hot dogs they call stuffed dogs. There's cheese and chili and cheese and cheddar and jalapeno. This is their newest one. It's called Cheesy Smokehouse. I'll let you guys tear into it.
I do know this
I like
about
mine
Jackson.
well done. I hope that's okay.
All right.
We'll get a shot
I'm
here.
gonna
Explain what I'm about to bite into.
So the interesting thing is they don't really
I'm gonna
say,
hold mine.
like, so they're an all pork hot dog. They come 8 to a pack. What do you think? What's the flavor you're getting? And then I'll tell you what I think I've
I'm
deduced
starting
it's
to feel
supposed
like
be.
a cheese.
Well, cheese, of course, but there's some things in this that aren't in their other ones. Like there's powdered tomato, there is brown sugar, there's what they call grill flavor. I think it's supposed to remind you of barbecue sauce. Now there's not barbecue sauce in it. There's not like you bite it and it squirts. But I think those flavors are supposed to remind you of barbecue
It takes
sauce.
it away from the hot dog taste. There is a hot dog taste. It's taking it away from it, so it's not too terrible.
It's getting into the Smokies territory.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's number one. I thought potato chips, also very 4th of July. Utz, lots of interesting brands, flavors from them. This year, they brought back one they brought out for a limited time last year. It is lemonade.
All right.
Okay, I gotta
chips.
try this.
It is very sweet. It's not like
it's a sweet potato
It's
chip.
almost like a dessert potato chip.
Oh yeah. Okay. It hits you late too. I like that.
I like it.
It can throw you off a little bit because it doesn't taste like a cookie. It still tastes like a potato chip, but it is very lemonade.
It's that salty
very
sweet.
sweet lemonade. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's got a lot of different flavors in there. Turmeric, by the way, is what they use for the yellow So, at least in that case, not an artificial
Okay.
coloring. And up to $25,000 of the sales from this portion of the proceeds, as they like to say, will go to Alex's Lemonade Stand Foundation. That's a childhood cancer research fund.
Oh, I love it.
Okay, well then you got to
Yeah.
try them at least, especially this time of year.
This
All
is
right.
one. This is get
Everybody in
ready.
the studio going, what?
This is Bush's Rocket Pop flavored baked beans. Also very 4th of July baked beans. They've got some interesting flavors out there right now. They've got a dill pickle baked beans. They've got an apple pie baked beans. But this one is, well, they call it Rocket Pop. It's because they don't want to pay for the brand name Bomb Pop.
I got you.
So it's blue raspberry, cherry, and I got to make sure it's lemon or lime. In this case, it is lime.
Okay,
Take a whiff first. Does it smell like a
I can
melted
smell-
Bomb Pop?
I can smell it. Smells like a little girl's perfume.
Yeah, I don't know about that. Yeah, it's a very strange.
I'm not a fan of baked beans, but I'm going to try
Okay.
this and see what.
Well, they don't taste very much like baked beans. The weird thing is, it's those 3 fruity flavors, but also still the onion and the garlic and the pork stock and all of that. I would say these are a novelty. Buy a big container of the real baked beans and have these for some fun.
Okay.
The kids might like that.
Yeah. It tastes like you spilled Kool-Aid in your baked beans, doesn't
Amen.
it?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what it smells like.
And I don't like baked beans.
Gotcha. So a palate cleanser here. This is another one back this year. Sprite plus tea. I brought both the 0 sugar and full sugar version if you want to crack that open and give
I'm
it a
gonna do
try.
the full sugar.
Supposedly this is inspired by there was a TikTok, Instagram trend where people were actually steeping tea bags in their Sprite.
All right, and that dirty Coca-Cola.
Dirty
stuff,
Yeah,
soda.
sure.
dirty
People,
soda.
you know, all these. Every soda company has now figured out that we'll not just have the regular Sprite. We'll have 12 other flavors that are also Sprite.
Yeah.
And do you guys find it difficult to find just Sprite?
Sprite, yeah.
Just Coca-Cola. I don't want 40 flavors of it.
Okay.
What do you think? Is it tea?
I don't get too much tea. I get
really?
more Sprite in
Interesting.
it. But I mean, it does have a tea taste, but it's not overpowering, I guess
Yeah,
what
yeah.
I'm saying. All right.
And interestingly enough, because it's a Sprite product, you would think tea, it's going to be a big caffeine bomb. No caffeine in either of these.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So if you like the flavor of caffeine, it's kind of the flavor of caffeine. I don't know if anybody likes the flavor of caffeine. If you like the flavor of black tea, this might be something to try. It is bubbly, it's sweet, it's lemony, it's tea.
It might be a good mixer, too, for coffee.
Oh, I'm
Oh,
sure
great idea.
everything's a good mix.
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah.
And if you see one of these on the side of the road, don't try it, okay? Make sure you buy it at the store because it
Yeah.
might not be Sprite.
This one is the only one I have that's not
Okay.
a real 4th of July, but it's something for the kids to do. It is, again, I got to get the full name here, King's Hawaiian Shake'em Banana Bites, because it's, of course, tied into the new Minions and Monsters movie.
How's this
so
work?
it's King's Hawaiian bread. Give it a big shake. We already dumped the cinnamon sugar, not cinnamon sugar, banana sugar.
It has a,
It comes in a
little
little packet.
packet.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's about 24 of these little King's Hawaiian bread nuggets in there. Give one a
Okay.
try, see what you think.
Yeah, and if you know anything about King's Hawaiian, they're sweet already. So.
Yeah, they're already sweet. Now, as long as you know that it's just going to be on the outside, when I first saw this product, I thought the banana flavor was going to be baked in. It's not. There's still plenty of banana flavor, though.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I would say the one thing is these are about $8. So, but people have told me one thing they like to do is put them in the air fryer, get them a little warm.
Yeah.
could
They
see
start
that.
bordering on monkey bread then.
Just
at that
get,
point.
yeah, monkey bread. That's exactly how I felt.
I'm having childhood flashbacks right now.
This is
Oh, the
cool,
last one,
right?
yeah, apple pie. Can you get more 4th of July? We started with
Oh,
hot
my
dogs
goodness.
and with apple pies. McDonald's, until July 4th is supposedly the last day they're doing this, at least for this
Oh,
year.
it is?
Yeah, July
Really?
4th, fried apple pies. They haven't had them for, I forget, like 20 years or something.
All right, now, when I bite into this, is it going to be 378,000
Well, I bought them
degrees?
an hour ago, so hopefully they won't still
They've
be
cooled
boiling
off
hot.
slightly.
Now, when I bought one straight out of the store, it was a little hot, but not like it was blow on it hot, not I've set my mouth on fire hot.
I mean, how can you go wrong, right? These are
It's crunchy, it's sweet, it's apple pie. Some people have complained that it's a little underfilled, but you can't fill it all the way up because then it'll explode when
lose
you
out.
fry it. I would also say I can't verify because I can't find how big they used to be.
John,
I
they
don't
do
know if
seem
I'm
smaller.
bigger or
Yeah.
they got smaller. It's one of the two.
ThatGuyOnTV.com is John's website. Check it out.
All right.
Have a wonderful 4th, everybody.
Absolutely.
This is Daily Flash with Andrea Jackson and Mitch English. Broadcasting worldwide and streaming. Daily Flash. Today's talk, tomorrow's trends.
Hey, everybody, I'm Mitch English.
I'm Andrea Jackson. This is Daily Flash. Today's trends, tomorrow's talk. Let's check in with James Alexander.
Yeah. Hey, how you doing, guys?
Stations across
219
the nation.
Huh?
Or stations across the nation. What are we?
219 stations across the country. And the American Forces Network is where you can find us across the globe. If you're looking at where we are in your neck of the woods, go to dailyflashshow.com and click on Where I Watch. Now, our friends in Abilene, Texas.
Abilene.
Texas? You gotta say Texas like that.
Texas.
If you don't say it like that, it doesn't work. K33KXTV in Abilene, Texas, where Taco Bueno started.
Okay, Taco Bueno. All right.
Taco
there we
Bueno.
go.
Taco Bueno. All right, it was founded in Abilene in 1967.
Ooh.
Okay, 67. So you've been eating tacos since 67, Abilene? They better be good tacos.
All right.
Bet they
I
are
hope they're
good
not like
tacos.
$5 a taco, because you go to some taco places around here.
They're bougie.
There's bougie, very expensive, and very little. You got to buy like 20 of them to eat to feel like you're full.
Especially
That's just
for
me.
you.
Maybe that's just me. I'm so sorry.
They say everything's
It's the
big,
fat kid in me.
but they say everything's big in Texas, so I bet they're big tacos.
Some of those tacos look kind of small.
Okay.
I've been Houston. Those are small tacos, Houston.
I'm loving it. And loosely translated, that means good taco, right?
Thank you, Abilene. Thank you for watching, friends.
Thank you, Abilene. All right. And by the way, Anise, y'all out there, we love hearing from you. What makes your city great? We want to hear from you, of course, especially since we're moving our way through our nation's birthday. We like
Yeah.
celebrating these cities everywhere across
Yes.
the country. It's an exclusive club, y'all, that no one actually wants to be a member of. That's how several people actually have explained what they were at the Grief, Sweat, and Tears event. It's about where 25 men and women, they meet up for a doubleheader bar and spin class.
Oh, okay.
Death and grief were the main topics, where people trading stories about lost loved ones, and everybody is gathered into the lobby to chat afterward, all sweaty, smiling. Conversation flowed as naturally as it would be at a bar. Now, these events are popping up everywhere, and they actually start with a workout to help alleviate the physical symptoms of grief, followed by social time for attendees to meet others going through similar experiences. There's evidence, actually, that exercise can be an effective tool for managing emotions associated with grief, and a lot of experts support it as well. So I like seeing these sort of things. I do know that if you go through a very emotional time, something happens, you feel drained afterwards. You ever gone through something like that? You don't have to tell me, but I mean, like, you've gone through that experience where it takes everything out of you. And I would imagine this takes out even more, but it is very cleansing, I think. Your thoughts?
And I think when it comes to exercise, even when it's like the times where you don't want to exercise, you don't feel like it, but when you do it, you feel 100 times better afterwards. So it is an important part of your everyday life.
I was going to say, I like the idea of not being alone.
Yeah.
When you go through something traumatic, and sometimes you want
That's
to
a good
isolate
point.
yourself. You're not alone with this, although they need to be on beat a little bit better, but it's okay. I understand. Somebody's just off beat like crazy in that room. But it gives you an opportunity to be with people who are kind of have a shared experience, and you're able to talk and work through it,
As I look at this, I would imagine it feels normal. Do you know what I'm saying? Where you usually, when grief counseling, you're sitting in a big room around, everybody's in their chairs and everything. Yeah. And that's just the standard, is everybody has an opportunity to talk. But then you walk away, and despite the fact you might be saying, well, these other people have shared experiences, how are they out after they leave? And then when you see people actually all working around together as a unit and they're smiling and that sort of thing, you kind of see that, they're living a normal life too.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like you only see people like, well, I did this, and because I've gone to many of them, but to see people moving around gives a different attitude that
Different
it's okay,
mindset.
a mindset that, hey, in here we do this. I like the idea. I think that there should be more stuff like this.
I did mine when I got divorced. I did Uber and Lyft, and I was able to talk to people, and
That's a
that
good
helped
idea.
me work
Yeah.
through it. Yeah, going from having a family and then being by yourself.
It's a
totally
big
different.
transition
adjustment,
there.
yeah.
A big transition indeed. Hey, stick around. We're going traveling. We're heading into Flash Travel. We're going to love this one. Somebody who has a nice travel book, and they take you along for the ride. Air, land, and sea, this is Flash Travel. In today's Flash Travel, what happens when you leave the itinerary behind and you just let the world guide you through your journey? Well, the answer is in a new book, and it's called Gallivant, where self-discovery, life lessons, and world travel are all combined into one. Joining us right now to talk about the book is author, architect, and creative director, Sim Clark. Welcome to the show, Sim. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. And yourself?
Fantastic. Went through your book. I feel like I'm going through your personal journal like I did my sister's, but yours is much more exciting than what she did. What inspired you to take this year-long journey and actually write Gallivant?
Well, people keep asking me that question, and really, it was my dad. I was 7 when my dad passed away. But before that, he had instilled in me a desire to travel. And at the time of his death, he had been building a boat that he said we were going to travel around the world in.
Okay.
And so, fast forward, 16 years, and I just decided to honor my dad and take a trip around the world.
I love that, but you made it a little bit different. You didn't do a whole lot of planning, I guess, and you just kind of traveled without a set itinerary. How did that change your experience?
Well, that's not entirely true because if you're going to travel around the world, as coming from a developing nation, you have to have an exit and re-entry
Certainly,
plan.
yes.
So, yeah, so I did have itineraries that took me to different cities around the globe. But when I got there, I had no plan. Like I did not know what I was going to be doing at all. So I just knew that I had friends. I had friends in Hong Kong. I had friends in Singapore. I had acquaintances in Japan. And I just had an idea that I was gonna just go meet them. They would tell me, oh, this is a great place to visit, whatever, and then I would just go. And that's kind of what happened, kind of. But then life, I ran out of money halfway through, and there was a bunch of stuff that had to happen. But it was quite the adventure.
Inside you also include things like recipes. I guess you come across, I saw a recipe for some duck in there as well. I would imagine those are the things that you get to bring back, and it's memories. And we tell people all the time, it's like, things go away, memories are always there. Was there one destination or maybe even culture that really had a huge impact on you?
So, yes, when I landed in Cambodia, that was a massive, shift for me because it looked like I was at home. It looked very familiar, but at the same time, it was completely foreign. And the food was just an amazing, transformation of just things that were familiar. So everything seemed familiar, but it was the flavors and, just so different. And the way they prepare, everything was just so different. Yeah.
And again, a sense of smell take us back to those memories and that sort of thing. So imagine going and having all that, bringing it back, but eventually you had to come back home so you can write it. How did this travel change or maybe even shape your life looking back in retrospect?
Well, I'll tell you, one of the most profound changes for me was that, I always was interested in clothing, fashion. But when you live in a 5-gallon knapsack for 6 months, it's not about fashion anymore. If you want to be, if you want to be stylish, you want to look well presented no matter where you go and you want to be taken seriously, you need to develop a sense of personal style that is respectful, that is timeless, that is versatile, and that has kind of been a lifelong quest for me. It started there, but it has turned into an entire journey.
I can totally understand that. It's very actually inspiring. And the name, my dad used to say, "You're going out gallivanting all throughout there." You went gallivanting around the world. It's all kept and put together, including some good recipes here, and you can check it out. Thank you so much. Now, if you want at home, I want to check out more of the Gallivant story and Sim's world, you can go to sim.world/Gallivant. Head to our website. We'll have a link there.
KSA Entertainment is proud to offer programming to the men and women of our military and their families, serving all over the world on AFN, American Forces Network, seen worldwide.
Ahead of National Ice Cream Month, Hunter Clayton from Tillamook joins us with the results of a national survey including America's favorite flavors and toppings. Hunter, welcome to Daily Flash. How popular is ice cream here in the United States?
It is so popular that 9 out of 10 people say it's their favorite dessert, which I am definitely in that 9% to no surprise, or 90% to no surprise. So folks love it.
You can add our crew to that 90% too. We love ice cream. Tell us about the new ice cream survey. What more did you guys find out?
Yeah, so we not only found out America's favorite flavors, the vanilla, the chocolate, cookies and cream, strawberry, we also found out some of their favorite toppings, and that about 60% of them don't know that there is a legal definition for ice cream, which is wild, but that's why we're here to educate.
Okay, so what is the difference between real ice cream and the frozen dairy dessert? I suppose this is where that definition comes in.
It is, yeah. So there is a legal definition that ice cream has to be a certain amount of fat, what we call milk solids, a certain weight, and then it also has to be made a certain way. So a lot of times, if you're not ice cream, you're typically in the frozen dairy dessert. So likely you're not using enough fat or some other characteristic like that.
Okay, what should consumers look for when they're at the grocery store?
Yeah, so if you look on the front of your package, on the front display panel, on the bottom right or left, it'll say ice cream or it'll say frozen dairy dessert. And so Tillamook is true ice cream, and that is where you want to look on the front.
I have had those Tillamook ice cream bars, and I got to tell you, I could live on those
They're
for the
pretty
rest
good.
of my life.
Indeed.
Yes, they are
Yeah.
very good. Oh my goodness. All right,
them.
Hunter, where can our viewers go for more information?
Sure, they can go to tillamook.com/therealscoop. We've got a bunch of fun statistics and a bunch of different ways to educate our customers on where to look and what to know so that they know they are getting real great ice cream.
All right, Hunter, what a sweet treat. Thanks for joining us. We'll post this information on our website, dailyflashshow.com/FMI.
Well, with Americans spending more time at home, comfort has never been more important, right? Well, joining us now to share a very simple solution is lifestyle expert Marissa Brani.
If you're working from home, sitting for long hours, or caring for a baby, comfort really matters, and the right chair can make all the difference. That's why I love the Cheetah Vinca recliner. It features a triple motor system that adjusts the headrest, backrest, and lumbar support separately, helping you find the right position and ease any neck or back strain. And it's great for new parents. The recliner glides and swivels smoothly and quietly with flared armrests that make nursing and soothing more comfortable. It's also GreenGuard Gold certified, so it's a safe choice for your nursery. Now, beyond working from home or baby care, the Vinca recliner is perfect for everyday living. It reclines up to 135 degrees and includes convenient built-in USB charging ports and storage pockets. You can learn more at cheetahliving.com and get an extra 18% off with their July 4th exclusive discount.
A new global survey takes a closer look at how homeowners around the world care for their homes. From repair habits to what people value most in their living spaces, here's what you need to know.
June is National Homeowners Month, and new research is revealing how Americans compare to homeowners around the world. With more, here's Angie Hicks, co-founder of Angie.
Our survey found that nearly half of U.S. homeowners stay on top of maintenance before problems happen. 49% say they take a proactive approach to home maintenance, and 72% renovate to maintain their home's condition. Homeowners are clearly focused on protecting and improving what they have.
The survey also found that Americans take a hands-on approach to caring for their homes, from staying ahead of maintenance to investing in updates that keep homes comfortable and functional.
Homeowners can focus on maintenance to help prevent bigger issues over time. Simple things like changing air filters, checking for leaks, and creating small repair budgets can help prevent bigger issues later. And remember, home should work for your everyday life, so focus on projects that improve comfort and functionality.
To learn more, visit Angie.com. That's ANGI.com.
All right, up next, pediatrician Dr. Allison Mitzner stops by with a must-have laundry buy. Hey there, doctor.
Hi, thanks for having me. People ask me all the time what laundry products I trust for their babies and their toddlers, and for the whole family. And we all know how important it is. Growing families means an explosion of laundry messes, from baby urine to sweaty toddler clothes to those smells left behind from your baby's blowouts. Well, I'm a fan of Downy Rinse. It works with your laundry detergent to help remove stubborn odors in just one wash. Busy parents don't have time for complicated routines, so this makes it so easy. You just pour it into the fabric softener dispenser and let it work its magic. It helps rinse away that stuck-in stink so your family's clothes smell so fresh, saving you from the hassle of rewashing. It's $12.97 and you can find it at pretty much any local retailer.
Celebrity beauty expert Tim Quinn is known for his work with Armani Beauty. Now he's got a new line called Halo 42. Quinn recently appeared at Bloomingdale's in Orlando, Florida during a recent beauty event. Tim was on hand for personalized beauty and wellness consultations featuring new Halo 42 products. Tim provided wellness and beauty tips geared toward healthy, Radiant skin with clean ingredients from the Amazon rainforest. Quinn also shared expert tips on aging well, skin health, and modern beauty for women ages 40 plus. One of the featured products at the Bloomingdale's event was a soothing face cleanser.
This extraordinary product will remove your makeup, cleanse your face. It won't strip the skin's moisture barrier. It leaves your skin feeling wonderfully clean, a little bit firmer.
Next was the Nourishing Face and Body Elixir.
Now this is actually for face, body, hair. Head to toe, it's all you need. One pump, spray, day and night. You can apply it. Cleanse skin.
Also featured was the Illuminating Eye Oil.
My personal favorite, the eye oil. This is going to incorporate the copaiba, which is sourced from the Amazon, as well as vitamin C, marula, and squalene. So it's really amazing. Just one little drop, day and night, on the orbital bone. You can take as much time as you like massaging it in. It works on inflammation, puffiness, dryness, fine lines, hydration, you name it.
And finally, the Balancing Body Wash that's a spa-like cleanser.
This, 1 or 2 pumps, it lathers up like you have never seen. So if you want to use it in the shower, it's extraordinary. If you want to use it in the bath, you can do that too. That has, of course, the copaiba, the argan oil, aloe, and shea butter. So again, it's going to get you beautifully clean. Your skin will feel soft and hydrated.
Tim and co-founder Mark Turnespede are on a mission to ensure that all people know their true beauty from the inside out and therefore have the ability to experience and share authentic love. You can learn more about Halo 42 products by visiting halo42.com.
Everybody, welcome back to Daily Flash. I'm Mitch English along with Andrea Jackson.
So when an unassuming housewife is cast in a community theater production, she loses herself in the role and falls under the spell of a strong-willed director. This is today's must-watch, The Debut.
What's your story? I don't think we've seen you before. I haven't sung in front of anyone since church choir.
We're auditioning for Jerry.
Who's Jerry?
Basically the biggest name in New Jersey community theater. He's brilliant, but he's not here to be your friend.
Hi, Jerry.
Mocha, no milk when you have it.
Mona Friedman.
That's me.
You're up.
Whenever you're ready. Mona?
Yes?
You're the only person who auditioned for Miss Danielle. You got the part.
Jerry is gonna test you and push you and drag you through the mud.
No one move! Mona, look at me and say your line 3 times in a row and don't blink.
Can I blink first before we start?
No, go. Everyone can take the rest of the day off, except for Mona. Every single thing you are doing is not working.
Hi, Miss Danielle. Thanks for coming by on such short notice.
What seems to be the problem, Barnaby?
Sorry, is that how she's gonna do it? Jerry or Mocha?
It's too late for that.
Of course.
All of the baggage that you've been holding on to your whole life,
Honey, did you make dinner?
use it. I'll need my tool belt and a mocha, no milk.
I knocked you off the goddamn wall, and you are lying in pieces all over the ground.
Oh, God, did she kill you?
But we are gonna put Humpty Dumpty back together again. And Mona, when we do that, you are gonna be dynamite, baby. What did the mask of Miss Danielle feel like?
I could do anything. I could say anything.
You know, I used to be an actor. When I saw you up there, I just thought, I wish that was me.
Opening night. When the lights are on me, I'm gonna shine.
Yes, and I guess he's directing and starring Jesse Eisenberg inside of that. So there you go. All right, all of us here at Daily Flash say thank you for spending time with us today.
Yes, for more information, head to our website, dailyflashshow.com. We'd love to hear from you. Click on the sound off button. Be good, everybody.
Bye-bye.
We'll see you tomorrow.